I am
now the host.
We are recording. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Team Play Hard.
Christy's on. Sorry. Hi, Christy. I'll mute now.
Hi, Christy. Thanks for everyone for coming on and for listening, for those of you who can't be live and in person. And I want to put it out there, for those of you who missed last week's exciting call and weren't on it, Ellen has allowed me to speak tonight, as long as I take my asshole comments and keep them to myself. So that's the deal. I get to swear, but I can't be an asshole. Okay, so anyway, moving forward, thank you, Ellen. She's laughing for those of you who aren't watching and are just listening. So before we started recording, Ellen did this great intro into what this call is about. It is a month in view, and Ellen started the call before we started recording, but what she said was so great. We have been leading in this direction for a long time. Our goal as leaders since we came together has always been to streamline things for our team and to not have to reinvent the wheel. And we have slowly been making these changes. And it started with Ellen doing a team call. And then we did the YBY group, which I'm going to come back to. We started regular sneak peeks. We started some regular coach trainings. And the whole goal is that you guys don't have to reinvent the wheel. And like Ellen said before we started recording, that if you want to, you know, like her call a couple weeks ago, you don't need permission. You totally have permission to reinvent the wheel and go out and do your own thing and sprout your own wings and go in the direction you want to go. But what we want to provide you, at least as leaders, is that you don't have to do that. And that as you start to blow up, because both of our teams are blowing up. I think that just last week alone, we added double-digit coaches, I think 10 just last week. And so to try to keep everybody on the same page, and especially for those new coaches who are bringing on new coaches, like how
Time out. We're at 324 coaches under Team Play Hard today. 324.
Yeah,
I've only been a coach for not even 3 years. It's huge.
That's a lot. And so, you know, if you think about, we're trying to, you know, there's 324 coaches in our team to try to keep everybody on the same page and provide everybody with tools that they can give, that you guys can give your new coaches. That's our goal, and that we can feed people into our team and try to take some stress away. Because as you all know, becoming a new Beachbody coach and like, where do I begin and what do I do and where do I go? It can be stressful. And as the leader, when you have new coaches coming to you, it can be stressful also. So with that being said, I want to back up a little bit, and just for those coaches who are listening, because we do have so many new team members, and I want to try to keep everyone in the loop and make this call as concise as possible. We are currently, as a Team Play Hard, we did a big YBY group starting in January of 2015, and Ellen likes to refer to it as my baby. YBY stands for Your Best You, and it was the first time as a team that we all came together, and the goal was 100 challengers, and we're at something like, I think, close to 150 in that one challenge group. And that was the goal of it, to do this massive Your Best You challenge group. We had 21-day fixers in it. We have Max Insanity people. We had some T25. And it was really successful. And as coaches and as leaders, we divided who was head of what program and tried to, you know, take care of our individual people and so on and so forth. So that, our first venture into that YBY is coming to an end. It ends on Friday, March 6th. And what we did, Ellen and I, is we set out the dates for upcoming YBYs. The next big Your Best You, we titled it Spring into Fitness. It starts on Monday, April 6th. And this last one, what we did, as you guys know, every month we have a brand new challenge pack to promote. We kind of centered the YBY around Max Insanity 30. And as we get closer to the launch of the April 6th YBY, I'm sure that we'll discuss like a theme for it as a team. But the end date to this current one is March 6th, and the beginning to the new one is April 6th. And this is important to know as new coaches, because like when Bobby came on, we were already over halfway through, and his biggest concern over starting a new coach challenge group was this group seems crazy to me, because he hadn't been a part of it. So that's why I kind of digress, and I want to explain the history of it to those coaches who haven't been involved. So then last month we did a sneak peek. That sneak peek led into a new coach training group, which 3 people on this call were a part of. That's great. And then out of the sneak peek, we did a new coach boots on the ground challenge group. That challenge group actually started today. It's a 30-day challenge group. And that boots on the challenge group is, the reason we created that is so that new coaches like Bobby and Tracy and Lindsay and Heather and Allie can have a place to put challengers as a new coach, but not have the stress of running a brand new challenge group when they don't know really like a lot. Some coaches are fine. I think that Bobby would have been like fine running his own challenge group. But some coaches are like, that's a really stressful part of being a coach, and it really helps to just be able to sit back as an observer and kind of let someone else take the reins. And then as the coach participating in that challenge group, you're just responsible for your people. You don't have to do daily posts and things like that. And so that's the reason we created it. And the other reason is so that people on our teams who only have maybe 1 or 2 challengers, not enough to necessarily warrant a whole challenge group, can have a place to drop their people into. So that new challenge group started today, and that was a direct result of the new coach training. So along this line of funneling things, Ellen and I, and Jen Emmers was a part of that conversation, we've put an official start date to sneak peeks, new coach training, new coach challenge groups, and a business prospect call. So this is where you really need your pen and paper handy. So the first Monday of every month, we're going to do a new coach boots on the ground challenge group. There'll be 30 days. And we're also going to have the first Monday of every month is also as leaders, the previous month recognition. So for example, the first Monday in March, you would recognize the month of February for your team. I'm going to go back and touch on that, Ellen, too, so the apprenticeship stuff. The second Monday of every month, we're doing a business prospect call instead of our normal team Zoom call. And that's going to look like the slideshow that Ellen so awesomely put together last week. And her and I are going to work together, and we're going to tweak some things and stuff like that. So the second Monday of every month is a business prospect call. And that business prospect call is an opportunity if you guys have new coaches who are like, what does it mean to be a Beachbody coach? Tell me more about the company.
You just making a call, or you broken down?
I'm not broken down.
You're all good?
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, thank you.
What was that? Can I mute him? Who's that?
That's Saunders. Hey, Fuji, it's that business prospecting call. I think what you meant to say is it's not for new coaches. It's for people that are interested in the opportunity.
Yeah, sorry. I meant to say that if you have people who are interested in being a new coach, it is for them to learn about the business opportunity and what is Beachbody. Thank you. And then the third Monday, we're going to always do a sneak peek. A lot of you were a part of the last sneak peek. It was really successful. And then out of the sneak peek, going into the fourth Monday, we're going to do a 7-day boots on the ground new coach training. And so again, just to go back, the first Monday is always going to start a new coach challenge group. So if you follow the thread, that new coach training leads right into the new coach challenge group. And we're also going to do the previous month recognition. Second Monday is always a business prospecting call in lieu of the team call. The third Monday is always going to be a sneak peek. And the fourth Monday, we're always going to start a boots on the ground new coach training. That first Monday, I just wanted to touch on the new coach challenge group. Like I said, it is for the new coaches, and it's for any coach on our team that feels like they don't warrant their own challenge group. But Ellen and I have talked extensively, and we feel really strongly to look at this sort of like as an apprenticeship challenge group, not to lean on it and always be putting people in it, to go out and do your own challenge group. And even if you only have 4 people, that still warrants your own challenge group, because you can only build once you have to start to build. And so if you have 4 people, we encourage you, sprout your wings and go run your own challenge group. And even though we're always going to be having this new coach challenge group, we encourage you, like Ellen is always running her own challenge group. I think she's going to start her private one on the 3rd Monday. Bobby, you want to say something?
So the one thing, so just with the structure, so the boots on the ground training will be the 4th Monday. And so they won't be the ones leading the challenge group of the following month, but the month after that, right? Because otherwise they only get 1 week to get challengers.
Oh, right. Yes, yeah. You're correct.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. So okay, gotcha. That was my only concern, was just like, we're not expecting them to get everybody in 1 week.
Well, I mean, however, when we worked with you guys, and each new coach 7-day is kind of takes its own form. I mean, we do have a structure that we go off of, just like the sneak peek. It's set out, it's built in. But with the new coach we did with you, for example, that 7 days was specifically oriented around you getting Success Club 5 or higher, and you guys getting challengers. And so, I mean, yes, it's for the month before, but I would say it's also for those people that week. Hey, I have a challenge group starting next week. But the thing is with the mail time, I mean, yeah, what you said is correct. It's for the week before. Yeah. Did you have anything to add on those Mondays, Ellen, before I move into the Emerald?
Sure. I just wanted to define the sneak peek.
Okay.
Because in case someone listening doesn't know what the sneak peek is, the sneak peek is a Facebook group that is 5 days long, that's very cut and paste, ready to go, and very good. We haven't led one yet that hasn't led to new team growth. So yes, the idea is that they sort of domino effect into one another. I would start the dominoes in my mind. So Embers and I printed just a Google template of a calendar. I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. And then you can translate it into your own personal calendar, whether that's a physical calendar or Gmail, just a blank calendar. And on Mondays, you should have your team call every Monday, and you should have your Thursday. You know that if you're a leader, if you're an Emerald, you're recognizing people on your team every Thursday. And then I'm going to just kind of start the idea of dominoes in my mind on the 9th with the prospecting call. Hopefully, you have someone that wants to sign up as a coach after that. You could literally, or maybe they're just kind of really thinking about it. The very next Monday, you could put them in the Facebook sneak peek. That's a 5-day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where they just look in a group, read, oh, who makes a good coach? Oh, how do they sign up? Oh, what's Shakeology? What is a coach? They can learn that by reading. And then maybe they become a coach. They can dive right into the next domino falling over the following Monday, the new coach training. So those are seamless. And then, yeah, it kind of depends. Depending on how many Mondays are in the month. Some months have 5 Mondays, some have 4. So it's not always going to be perfect. So maybe that domino connects to the next domino of the team boots on the ground challenge group. You know what I mean? It could. In theory. I want to leave Jake time, so let me just see if you were going to talk more about recognition, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So recognition. Ellen and I recognize on Thursday. I know Brian Saunders recognizes on Friday. And just that, however you choose to recognize, once you're an Emerald, that you're a leader. You have 2 coaches underneath you, and even if you're an Emerald with only 2, that it's time to recognize, to take onus of that, because Ellen and I can only see 2 levels down, and so I can see Tia, and Jake is Tia's coach, but I can't see Jake's coaches, so I can't recognize Jake's coaches. It's up to Jake to recognize Jake's coaches in Team Inspired Fitness. And the same with Bobby and Lindsay and Tracy. And that we just want to encourage everyone that don't wait till you feel like you have a quote unquote team. Once you have 2 people, that is your team. And there's no better time than that moment to begin leading, it's never going to be easier than that, because you can go from, I'm sure Ellen remembers when she only had 2 coaches, and now a part of Team Play Hard, she has 324. So it's better to learn with 2 and be able to learn how to grow, and then your leadership skills grow along the way, and then eventually, hopefully we'll all have 324 coaches underneath us. So just that we want to encourage that, not to rely always on your upline, that once you get to be an Emerald, you are a leader, to recognize and take the time to do that. Because that Ellen made a really good point. It's not super easy to get to Emerald. You have to have cared enough about where to place a coach on each leg. I mean, you cared enough to get to Emerald, and so now it's time to kind of funnel that down into those people that helped you get to Emerald and grow your team.
I told Jen, I said, someone doesn't just wake up one day an Emerald coach. It doesn't, you don't just wake up an Emerald. It takes some work and some leadership, and so that's when you need to start. Even if you don't have the big mile markers to recognize, even if it's like, oh, they just sold a challenge, they just got their first Shakeology customer. That's worth tossing some recognition their way. Okay.
Yeah, super worth. I think recognition is one of the biggest things in the company. And that being said, I'm going to hand the plate over to Mr. Jake.
Really quickly, Emerald Mine, when is that happening?
So, great question. We purposely did not put in a regularly scheduled Emerald Mind because
or Diamond
coach training. I'm sorry, what?
Or Diamond Mind.
Right, or a Diamond Mind. And the reason is because sometimes we just don't need one.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm honest, I mean, my truth is that for me right now, giving you guys this structure, which is so needed, it's so necessary, it's my next step. It's stretching me. This is a stretch for me to implement this. I'm going to be capable of giving you guys more. I just need to hone this and master this better and cultivate more leaders, because our vision for this isn't that this is the Fuji and Ellen show at all.
That would be super fun.
That would be. But our vision is that these are diamond led. These are just diamond led. Like, we take, Brian, Emily,
Christina, when she ranked
Christina, and we're like, hey, Christina, you're the diamonds in our team take over. Hey, Christina, could you do, the April sneak peek? And hey, Jembers, could you do the prospecting team call on the second Monday this week so that we're quarterbacking you guys? So great question. That was actually on our agenda to talk about. The Emerald Mine and the Diamond Mine are missing. They are needed. We'll get there. Okay. Hey, do you want to introduce Jake? I want you to introduce him.
Okay, so I'll introduce Jake. Jake is the man. All right, so I've known Jake for a couple of years now. Jake is actually my sister's, he signed up under my sister. Jake, I met him at Domaine Carneros, which is a fabulous winery out here, and he was sales manager. Is that true?
Tasting room manager, assistant manager.
Yeah, so in management, he's been there for a while. He worked out at my gym, and we've been talking over the years about how he wants to change his career path and get into health and fitness. It's a huge passion of his. And he just got certified as an insanity instructor, and he officially works with me, for me, at my gym, and he teaches in two, right? 2 insanity classes a week.
Yep.
They love him. The ladies love him, and the men are so happy to have another guy there. He's been a friend and a coworker, and just he's a great guy. And I would say that the fact that he's going to talk about sales tonight is awesome, because I happen to think sales is kind of there's part of it that you have or you don't have, and Jake does sales really, really good. So even though the fact that he hasn't been a Beachbody coach for a long time, he's been in sales for a long time, and he has a passion for health and fitness, so he's a great person to discuss sales. Go, Jake.
Well, thank you. Quite an introduction there. I had a small introduction myself planned, but you covered pretty much all the bases there. As Jen said, I have been in sales for a while now, wine sales. But I think you'll find, and possibly some of you have been in sales in the past, sales is sales. It doesn't necessarily matter what you're selling, what industry you're in, what product it is. Sales is going to be the same across the board. So I've kind of identified a handful of key points, and I don't want you to think that these are techniques necessarily. These are more fundamentals. These are just kind of basics to keep in mind to start with. And I mean, we could talk about nitty gritty later on if you want some certain clothes styles or, that sort of thing, but these are fundamentals. So right off the bat, the most important thing is just to be yourself and have fun. It's that simple. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different style and approach to something. And if you can simply be yourself, show yourself, smile, laugh, make someone else laugh, these are all really, really good, effective ways to build trust, especially. If you're feeling anxious or nervous, the customer is going to pick up on that big time. So just try and be yourself. Just try and be happy and smile, and that's going to be really, really, beneficial for your business. Another thing which kind of ties into what I just mentioned there is that people do not buy from people that they don't like or they don't trust. So when I say sales is sales, no matter what you're selling, this is a big part of it, in that sales I see as building relationships. So it's building trust. It can be building friendships. It can be, it doesn't have to be like trickery. People hear sales and they think of a used car salesman just trying to pressure and trying to trick them into buying something. It doesn't have to be that way at all. In fact, I don't think it should be. That's not sustainable sales, at least. You're not going to keep customers with you. That might be a one-time sale, but high-pressure sales I don't believe in. So make sure that people like you and trust you. Share your story, who you are, where you're from. Certainly your success stories with a certain product can bridge the gap between just someone trying to sell a product to someone that actually believes in it and someone trustworthy because you've had the actual benefits yourself. So that's a really big part of it. The next one is a really, really important one to keep in mind. And one of my favorite fundamentals, I'll call it, is assuming the sale. So what I mean by that is that whoever you're talking to about Beachbody or about a certain product, in your mind, decide to assume that they're going to buy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to buy every time. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are interested at all. But in your mind, assume they're going to sell. So what that does, or assume they're going to buy rather, what that does, it builds a lot of confidence in your own mind. And therefore, if you're confident, you're going to show confidence and they're going to be a little bit more attracted to it. But I can't tell you how many times that I've simply been, someone asks, hey, what's new? And I just start talking and sharing, assuming, just pretending that they were interested. And sometimes they do. And the thing is, a really cool, neat aspect of this is that I have had people that I would have put money on that they were interested, no questions asked, just going to put down their money and dive right into it. And they surprised me by not doing it. On the reverse side of it, people that I would have never guessed were interested at all, they surprised me and said, yeah, where do I sign? So that's the thing. A really effective way to bridge some gaps there is assuming the sale. Always assume the sale. At the very least, it's active practice. So at the very least, you've been working, you've been talking with a real person, and even if they don't buy, they might be a future contact, they might buy in the future, or at the very least, you simply were able to practice. So that's a really important one right there. Now, another one, something that I can't put enough emphasis on is to be concise and direct. So what I mean by that is that it's really important to memorize what we're working with, memorize the product, memorize the prices, memorize the promotions. You shouldn't have to think, when someone asks you a question, you shouldn't have to think about it. Ideally, you shouldn't have to look it up. You just know everything in and out. And once again, that shows confidence. And, it's just a really, really important, especially we're needing to capture people's attention in a short amount of time. So if you are able to put together and even memorize, I suggest memorizing a 1 to 2 sentence description of every product that we're working with. Shakeology, certainly. People ask, what is Shakeology exactly? And instead of fumbling over words and kind of, looking up to the sky and thinking about what you're going to say, you already have that 1 or 2 sentence description and you just go with it. Really, really effective. It's got to be strong. It's got to be direct. It's got to be concise. And rehearse it. Just go over it over and over and over and talk about it with people and use the same thing. And if you get success from it, stick to it. And if it's not really working, then you might want to tweak some things a little bit or possibly even run it by a different coach. But yeah, rehearse, and memorize. Another thing is starting high. So you Oregon folk, not that kind of high. I'm not talking about that high. Starting high instead of saying, hey, I have a great program. It's called P90. And they're like, okay, this sounds interesting. I'm going to do it. And then instead of starting low and then trying to upsell them, but then let's try and get you on Shakeology. So we'll do a challenge pack from there. Instead, you start high. So you start with a challenge pack. You say, for this price, this is what you get. You get the workout program, you get the nutrition, you get me as a coach to be, your motivator, keep you accountable, that sort of thing. And that way, if that's too much for them, you still have something to fall back on. So you're still at a point which is good. It's a positive play. Instead of starting low and trying to upsell, start high, and that way you have a net to catch you in case they're not interested at the top. One of the easiest things for salespeople to not do, and one of the most overlooked things, is they simply don't ask for the sale. It sounds crazy, but asking for the sale at the end, once you feel like the customer might be interested or might be ready, is one of the most simple ways to close a deal. Simply ask, is this something you're interested in? Or may I reserve a spot for you in my next challenge group? It's so simple, but so rarely utilized. So I wanted to share that one with you especially. Always ask for the sale. It doesn't have to be pushy. It's a question. They can say yes, they can say no. And the last one I wanted to talk about here, and I'm not sure if any of you were in CJ's Diamond Mine and read the book Failing Forward, but it talks about this a lot, and it's something I've always thought about and try and keep in mind, is that every no that you get, because let's be honest, we're in sales and you are going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to hear way more no's than you are yeses, and that's the truth. Even the most successful salespeople hear way more no's than they do yeses. But every no that you hear gets you closer to your yes. And it's really important for your own mind, for your own, to keep you on track, to keep you motivated. No, you are going to hear a lot of no's, but it's going to get you closer to the yes. So stay positive, stay hungry, and you're going to get there. So these are the main points I chose to identify in this call. And so I thought I'd open it up and see if anyone has any questions or needs clarification or anything like that. So let me know.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
You did great. That was great, Jake.
Yeah, I had some really good takeaways because I think that I'm really weak in the sales department. And so I really like the starting high, start challenge pack, and then back off of there. I don't think I always do that. And then I like how you're like, ask for the sale at the end.
Yeah.
like follow up and ask for it at the end. And there was something, I like your point about like be concise and direct and know your stuff. It makes me think of like when we teach, classes and people are like, what's insanity? I am so rehearsed.
Yeah.
I'm so rehearsed on how I'm going to describe what they're going to get from me that day. That's how we need to be with this too.
No, that's a great example.
We'll roll off the tongue. We'll be like stammering.
Yep.
Anyway, that was very good. That was really good for me.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
I just had a comment. I don't have any questions, but I just think it's really good because some people are more natural at sales, and then there's other people who are always constantly like, I don't want to ask. Like the whole hang up is the asking for the sale to get over the money issue is so huge.
Yeah.
And so many people, if they're not comfortable with sales, it's because they're not comfortable asking for the money. And they think, people always have, people will tell you all day, I can't afford it, or, my PG&E was super big, or I'm trying to buy a car. Everyone has money issues. Everybody does. We all do. It's just another zero. Your zero may be bigger than my zero and vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it's so good to just because you're a comfortable salesperson and you will always ask for the sale. So the person who thinks that that's bad or they're uncomfortable, it's like you have to learn how to get out of your comfort zone, and it's okay. And it's okay if they say no. Like, I thought that was really good. Like, you're going to get a lot of no's. And I think that was a really great point because we get so many no's. And sometimes as Beachbody coaches, we're always really super ready. And then we're like, oh, but no one's ready for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. Yeah, that was a great point.
Well, you kind of reminded me of one other point I was thinking about talking about, but I wasn't sure how much time I'd have. So I decided to cut it. But another point that you touched on a little bit is to close the deal when the customer is ready to close the deal.
Totally.
So when you feel urgency, when you start to feel like you need to do it, and you start pushing, you can push people away really quickly. That all the trust in relationship that you've built up with that person could be quickly pushed away if they see that urgency, that desperation. So closing when the customer is ready, it can take patience. It can also happen way faster than you expect. Just yesterday at the winery, for example, it wasn't yesterday, sorry, it was Saturday. Someone signed up for the wine club before they even tasted the wines. They didn't even taste the wines at all. They already wanted to be in the club. And so that's closing the sale when the customer was ready. I didn't push it. She was just ready. And so we did it, and then we tasted the wines afterwards. And so we can utilize that. It's a lot of sales is reading your customer. And if your customer seems ready now, let's do it. And there's no need to oversell it at that point. You can certainly talk about the gist. You can get into it. They need to know the details. But if they're ready to go, let's do it. Doesn't have to be long and drawn out. A close doesn't have to be at the end of the process. It can be in the middle. It can be at the beginning. So something to keep in mind there too.
I want to share something else I've been a little bit successful with. And one is like my biggest fear is with people that they will think that getting a commission off them means more to me than they do to me. Mm-hmm. And that fear can paralyze me. So if I lead with that and just lay that is my fear, and articulate it to them and put it on the table, that's my segue into the conversation, that's my fear, is that you will perceive that some 25% stupid commission means more to me than our friendship. It doesn't. But I do care about your health, and I do believe in this product. And sometimes just putting that out there puts me at ease, and they believe me.
Yes.
And the other thing that I've been successful with is just saying, like, you are worth it. We happen to be selling a product that can save someone's life, that can change the quality of their life, and it is expensive, and so it's just saying you are worth it. Some people need us to tell them that. You're worth it.
Yeah. What you just said there totally reminded me of something great, and I love what you said, in that by naming your not insecurity necessarily, but by naming what's making you uncomfortable and sharing it and communicating it totally removes it from the equation. I'm a huge fan of that, actually. A lot of people don't necessarily want to bring any of that up. They don't even want to display that they're on commission. But by you just putting it in front and being honest and communicative, it's really beneficial. And I'm sure it built a lot of trust, you doing that. One example that I used recently, which kind of ties into what you just said, is that my best friend, his name's Jake as well. He was him and his fiance are looking to get into better shape and do Shakeology and everything. And so I told him, I was like, dude, you're my best friend. I don't want your money. This isn't why I'm doing it. I want your health and fitness. And so I talked to him about becoming a coach, so that he would be, what they would be paying me in commission, he would be saving in his own pocket. And he's super excited and promoting the company already and drinking Shakeology, and he's lost, I think, 25 pounds. And so that's another way to do it. It's a win-win. I saw it as a win-win. I didn't want to just be taking my friend's money, but he's also now a coach of mine, and he's loving it. He's saving money. He's feeling great, and he's on my team. So,
yeah. Good job, Jake.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Last questions?
I had a quick add-on just with what you were saying about being concise and direct and memorizing the products and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a reminder that you can watch a video for all of the products in the online library, in the video library. So like I didn't know what the heck Tai Cheng was, but I looked it up and I watched the video and now I know. So just as simple as that. Just when you have some downtime, go ahead and watch the videos, and it really makes all the difference because they say everything in them that you need to know about the product.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Good point. Lindsay, did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to share one thing that I found to be really successful and to work for me is, I'm not sure how to do it from a computer, but the Coach mobile app where you put the customer in with their challenge pack, with their Shakeology flavor, and it sends it right to them. I've gotten probably 90% of my challenge packs have been by sending them that direct email of what to get so they don't have to navigate the website. And so,
Yeah.
Wow.
Making it easy for them. That's perfect.
oh yeah, everyone just wants me to do it for them. And so,
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Brian, hi, we see you.
See me?
All right. Great call, you guys. Hold on, wait 1 second. I'm going to take a picture. You have that? Because
I got one. I did take one.
Back in the picture. You what? You did?
Look at my dog, you guys.
Oh, I'm doing it right here. Okay, smile. Be cute. Yay.
Molly.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Good job, Jake.
Thank you.
Hi, BS.
Hi, BS. Do you have super? Oh, did he leave? Do you have Superman socks on? He left.
Great job, Jake.
Christina, your kitchen looks fabulous.
I know. I was thinking
that salad while I was listening to the call. Sorry.
hey, how was Pio, Christy?
It was good. I had 2 classes. I had a new lady that just had a hip replacement, so that was a little bit of a challenge.
Oh my gosh.
How did she do?
Oh wait, you're still recording.
Oh,
Stop the recording.
Oh, sorry.